Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Happy Sunday. Hope you're enjoying yourself wherever you are. So I wanted to just do a video on happiness and specifically the reasons why we can't find happiness, which I know seems like a bit of a bold statement, but yeah, what if I told you that you will never be able to find happiness? And the reason I say that is because when you're looking for happiness, you are implicitly seeing that thing as being outside of yourself. And it means that you're looking in the wrong place, basically. So you're never going to be truly happy when you're looking outside of yourself for the source of your happiness, like really and truly. And here's why. So society has programmed us, and our parents, our friends, and everything like that, but society has basically programmed us to think that we can find happiness, whether it's been things, places, another person, maybe in a relationship. Hey there, everybody, and thanks for joining, thanks for tuning in. So yeah, we've kind of been conditioned to think that we can find happiness in purchases, in things, in places, in holidays, in material things. Maybe even buy happiness with our money, with our status, you know, like I say, by shopping and buying certain bits and bobs, or possibly even substitute real happiness by using things like drugs, alcohol. But the thing is that we've got it all backwards. We've got it all the wrong way around. So let me just ask you this. How many of you have used the phrase, when I get this, then I'll be happy? So for example, like when I get this job, then I'll be happy. When I get this partner, then I'll be happy. When I get this client or when I get this success, then I'll be happy. You know, when they apologize, then I'll be happy. Or when they behave better, then I'll be happy. So by saying these when-thens, we start to make our happiness conditional on something that's external to ourselves. And we also start to become attached to how we think things should be. So we just start to think like, well, actually, I really want things to be this way. So I'm going to hang my hat and my expectation all around that. And we start to just develop this expectation about how we want things to be. And it's conditional on these things that are external to us. So if you're using when-then phrases, then it's a really clear sign that you're putting the source of your happiness and the condition of that happiness like outside of yourself. So in psychology, we call this the locus of control. And you can either have an internal locus of control where it's inside you, or an external locus of control, in this case, where you're locating your control outside of yourself. And when we look at things like meditation and mindfulness and all these kinds of yogic philosophies, a lot of them come down on this fundamental truth, which is that fundamentally our stress and our suffering, aka unhappiness, is coming from wanting people, places, or things to be different from how they are. So we have this expectation about a specific outcome that we want, and we're really trying to control something that's outside of our control. And that's basically what leads to us becoming unhappy or dissatisfied. So how this kind of relates to happiness is that if you're caught in, say, a sadness or a remorse or a regret, maybe to do with your past, like something that you can't change anymore, or maybe you're anxious about something that's coming up in the future, again, something that might happen to you that you have no control over right now, right here in this moment, then not only are those things sitting outside of your control, but it also means that you're not free to enjoy like all the wonders that are here in front of you right here in this moment, right here, right now, in this present moment. So, you know, bearing in mind that right here in this moment, you've got the blue skies, well, right now it's raining, but you've got nature, you've got the beautiful trees, everything to nourish you in this moment. And if we're stuck in the past or in the future, we're unable to be present to what is. So here's the secret to happiness, is the real key is that you never find happiness. You choose happiness. Let me say that again. So the secret to happiness is that you don't find it anywhere. You choose it. It's a state of mind. It's a practice. And happiness is not a thing or a place or a person. It's not found in like our physical realities. Happiness is a practice that we cultivate, and it's this state of mind. So it's an emotion that's created within our inner worlds, and we have to look within ourselves to cultivate it. So I wanted to kind of give you some examples of my own experience in the realms of happiness and contentment. So a friend of mine and a possible future client was asking me this week, she kind of, bless her, she said, you know, when did you start feeling together? And I suppose by together she meant content or happy. So to put it in other words, when did I find happiness, or when did I find contentment? And I told my friend at the time that it wasn't so much about feeling together, as she put it. Those were her words. I mean, I very much consider myself to be a work in progress. I don't expect to suddenly be like, oh, ding, yes, I'm done, I'm happy, I'm finished, stick a fork in me kind of thing. But rather, it's been a process over the last, 5-6 years of me studying spirituality and yogic philosophy and so on and so forth, of just becoming more and more content with things as they stand, and not trying to change anything, not to wish that things were different. I think that one's been really, really key, and that's been a process. So my only job really has been to just bit by bit become more and more aware of the various bits and pieces, and remove the blocks, remove the things that are getting in the way of me feeling happy. So, and therein lies, for me at least, the path to my contentment and my happiness, just by removing those. So, many years ago, I used to live and work in London. I had a high-paying job. I was living in London with all that came with that. So, suited and booted to the best of my ability financially. But, I ended up sort of jacking all that in to become a bit of a gypsy hobo for a few years. And of course, that meant like selling off a lot of my stuff, or just leaving a lot of that behind. And I've probably never really let go of that habit of just keeping things simple. So I've just continued to simplify my life, whether it be mentally, emotionally, physically, and just keep myself feeling light and simple. And I have many fewer material goods. I don't need that kind of like brand new shiny thing endorphin as much as I did before. I certainly don't need like the high heels or the status symbols or anything like that monthly salary, in order for me to feel happy. Those things then were what I needed, because I was asleep to it. But now I've become more awakened to, just getting pleasure out of simple things. So for me, I get simple pleasures from just walking in nature and observing, the clouds and so on and so forth. So for me, it doesn't mean that I've become like this stoically stringent, like can't have anything person. It just means that I call in abundance in a different way, that nourishes me now, and not in a way that it's like I need this in order to feel complete. So that's one thing. And then there was also a time in my life when I was definitely very dependent upon and heavily reliant upon things like drugs, alcohol, tobacco, to make me feel whole, to give me confidence, to fill me up, to kind of fill those parts of me that felt less than whole, in order for me to feel happy and for me to feel content. And I'm over 3 years sober now, and I can see now by looking back that those drugs and those replacement therapies gave me nothing but what's called false happiness, or in Buddhist philosophy they call it contaminated happiness. It's a fake short-term happiness that doesn't actually lead to any kind of sustainable happiness. So, and now, because I'm free of those things and I enjoy things in a different way, I'm able to enjoy things on a much deeper level and gain much more happiness inherently as a result. So I'm living that much more sort of fuller and deeper life. And then some other aspects. So this tattoo here that I have, this is Santosha in Sanskrit, and this is the second of Patanjali's niyamas in the Yoga Sutras. And this basically means with a contentment comes happiness. So what this basically means is it's all about being happy with what you've got, rather than being unhappy with what you don't have. So it's being really grateful for what you have in your life, and recognizing, meeting yourself where you're at and giving gratitude for where you are, rather than coveting what you don't have in life. So that's been a huge part of my happiness journey. And then this tattoo here is a combination of things, but this word at the bottom here is anicca. This is Om on the top, and then anicca at the bottom is basically means, there's a couple of different ways that this is defined, but essentially it means that everything changes, and it's about seeing things for how they are, not how you would like them to be. And I learnt this when I did my first Vipassana retreat in Nepal many years ago, and this was just teaching me how to see things for how they are, not how I would like them to be. And I could start to recognize in my life that there were things, maybe hopes, thoughts, beliefs that I was holding on to, wishing that things were different, hoping maybe that like a relationship could be different, for example, or that conditions would change. And I noticed that by really holding on to those thoughts and those conditions, that I was causing myself to suffer. And the key to my happiness was to relinquish that and to see things for how they were, how they are, recognizing what was outside of my control, and recognizing that I couldn't necessarily do much to change those things, and being able to let go of the things that were outside of my control, and just coming into this moment of acceptance was huge. So I wanted to give you 5 steps that you can take to start practicing your own happiness and choosing happiness on a daily basis. And number 1 is to give gratitude to what's working in your life right now. So looking to what you're vibrating with, what's vibing, what's working, and just give thanks for that. And to just give thanks for your blessings every day, whether it's for your things that are in your life, but also start to open up this energy of gratitude by giving thanks for your family, your friends, and just asking for peace and prosperity for them. So just really cultivating that practice of gratitude for yourself and for others. Number 2, stop looking for happiness outside of yourself. So stop with the when-thens and start with the have-nows. So just start to feel that happiness within. So just turn your attention to each moment and just try practicing, what might happen if you could practice acceptance of everybody exactly as they are, unconditionally, precisely as they are, and not making anybody wrong. So just accepting people, places, and things exactly as they are, and contentment for what you already have in the moment, rather than being unhappy for what you don't have. So for example, you might start to say to yourself, I choose not to get upset by that thing. I choose not to let it bother me anymore. Or I choose to let go of expectations and let things unfold as they will. You could say, I choose to find the good in the job that I already have and lean towards all the things that make me smile. I choose to meet myself where I'm at and celebrate the success that I have right now. I am grateful for the gift of modern science that brings me, myriad benefits, and I choose to accept people for who they are, and I'm content because no one is wrong. Number 3, I want you to breathe and just take a moment to get out of your mind, get out of your thinking brain, which is just an analysis-making, meaning-making machine, and bring yourself into your body. So just cultivate the practice of being present with yourself. Happiness comes from cultivating a quiet mind. So just start to anchor your thoughts more on peace, poise, security, and divine guidance, and you'll just find that you start to produce happiness naturally by being in that state. Number 4, make a new declaration for yourself. So what I want you to do is to wake up every morning and to declare for yourself, today I'm going to be happy. Just for today, I will not be angry, I will not worry, and I will be grateful for the miracles that I see in every moment. Change the script. There are times when I might wake up and I might have just a wave of anxiety rush over me for whatever reason, and it's just a thing that happens to me from time to time. And what I am doing now is that I intercede that thought before those emotions get a hold of me. And I say to myself this phrase, which is, I trust that the universe will deliver to me everything that I need. And what that does is it instantly just changes up the trajectory of my thinking, and it turns it into one of trust and belief. So it's sort of getting me into this habit of saying, well, even if there was something to worry about, which there isn't, but even if there was, I trust that whatever it transpires is in my best interests, and that makes me choose, or makes me feel differently about my day, about maybe the worries that I've been considering. So it's just about changing up that directory and interrupting that behaviour, and just moving your thought patterns into a realm of more trust and belief in yourself or in the wider universe. And then lastly, number 5 is to accept people, places, and things just as they are, and understand that there really is no blocks to your happiness. It's our thoughts and our beliefs that create our reality. So, our thoughts and our beliefs project our realities out there. So just practice being content with what is, and just choose to let go of the things that are causing you unhappiness, and choose instead to just ponder on things like acceptance and happiness and peace and prosperity, to create a different reality for yourself every day. So basically what I wanted to say is that this really is all about your freedom. Ultimately, when we're talking about any kind of spiritual awakening or philosophy, it's all about freedom. And so this is to just reiterate that if you're caught in the past, or if you're thinking towards the future, you're not living in the now moment. You're not free to enjoy this moment here and now, and the happiness that you can find in every moment here and now. So you have the ability to carry your own weather, as Stephen Covey puts it in his 7 Habits. And you have the ability to choose your response in every moment. So you can choose happiness, you can choose contentment, you can choose acceptance. So our personal realities, or our perception of reality, is created from what we believe. So if you wake up in the morning and you believe that the world is against you, or you believe that you're an unlucky person, or an unhappy person even perhaps, then, or even if maybe that you're a failure, then in some respects, whatever you believe to be true is what you're going to be shown, is what you're going to be speaking into existence. And it's going to be created before you. So you'll get this kind of confirmation bias that just keeps confirming what you believe. Whereas if you change up your belief, you'll start to see evidence that proves that belief as well. So just make it your habit to speak happiness and acceptance into existence instead, and to choose happiness and to be content with what you have, to create a reality around that, and to start putting energy around those higher vibrations of hope, peace and prosperity. And it's just going to be by letting go of the things that cause you unhappiness or suffering, it's going to be your fastest path to peace, I promise. Because I've experienced it for myself, so I just wish that for you as well. Just learning to accept things for how they are, not how you would like them to be, is going to help you to get along with yourself better, and help you to get along with others in a more harmonious way. So I'm going to continue making a few of these videos about awakening and philosophy and so on and so forth. So if you like this, then I just ask you to press like and even possibly share it so I can get better distribution on it. And if you've got anything to say, then obviously just drop a comment down below. Maybe talking to me, or tell me about other stuff that you maybe want me to talk about. Maybe other aspects of this particular topic that you'd like me to go into. And you can sign up to my mailing list on my website, which is beherewell.earth, so we can communicate directly. And there's some other useful resources on there, things like free meditations and some other articles and things for you to enjoy. So just ask you to keep watching these videos, keep sharing the wisdom that you watch and you see. I'm very grateful to you for that. And just thank you very much for watching. Namaste.